Hi, I'm Rich Fritzson, Executive Director of Mainline Unitarian Church. I have to start off here. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't. I do know at this point many of us are afraid. I do know that some of us have lost half our income. Some of us have lost all of our income. And if you're in this position, I know you're not asking yourselves, where can I get some money to donate to the church? I know this. This is a terrible time to run a church pledge campaign. And if I thought that there was a better time in the next 2 or 3 months, I would wait. But I don't think that. So here we are. Now I also know that some of us are lucky enough to still have an income, whether because we still have jobs, or because we're at a point in our lives where our income doesn't require that we have a job. But what I want to say today is not just for people who are doing well. It's really for all of us. So stay with me for a few minutes. Last year at our congregational meeting, I showed a budget chart that looked like this one. They liked it more than the usual one because it showed the overall relative cost of various church programs. We did it by distributing the hours spent by each staff member on various tasks and combining them. And back when we thought that this pledge campaign would be about asking everyone to consider raising their pledge, I was planning to take you on a tour of this chart and talk about the changes and improvements we were planning for each of these individual ministries. Instead, today, I'd like to spend a few minutes taking you quickly through the same chart and telling you what's going on in them today. I'm doing this so that you're informed. If it sounds like I'm also bragging about what the church leadership, both staff and volunteers, have done in a very short amount of time, well, maybe there's some of that too. In worship, now everybody's familiar already with our worship changes. If you're not, just look around you. And probably you'll find the coffee's different, maybe stronger. We are very fortunate that our recent capital campaign equipped us with the technology we need to do this. We're also fortunate that we started practicing using that technology a year ago. So we're now pretty good at it. Of course, now that we've gotten good at doing this from an empty sanctuary, you can see there are even fewer people in it than last week, and next week probably fewer still. But I should mention that while we have not had to buy any special equipment to do this, it has taken considerably more time from the staff to create worship. Now in faith development, there's no question Don Starr has been yeoman's work in creating children's faith development online and adult faith development online that is engaging and effective. And again, it's just taking us all much more time than it used to. As with worship, we're all learning to do our jobs all over again from the start. You'll also notice that monthly Vesper services are now weekly Vesper services online. All of our meditation groups are now online, and there are new meditation groups formed online. Saturday morning yoga, online. And a lot of this is the result of real work by both staff and many committed volunteer leaders. I should also add that small group ministries are online, adult faith development book groups online, even Spanish conversation is now meeting on Thursday mornings online. It's a big change. For pastoral care, now with Jan Kaufman retiring from her position with us only a couple of months back, we might have been really suffering for a lack of leadership in pastoral care, except that our new parish nurse, Ann Clark, has really jumped in with both feet. A new position, a new community, and extraordinary circumstances. In addition to reaching out to individual families by phone, She's got the church's support groups, such as Conversations with Aging, now meeting online. Volunteer groups, such as the men's support group, moved online by themselves. Now, most of you should have received check-in calls from our trustees, and I hope you're taking the time to fill out the needs survey that Neil sent out a week or so ago. That information goes straight to the staff, but especially to Ann and to Neil. Now, here's a surprise: membership. 2 weeks ago, I introduced our first online service and included the words, "if you're tuning in for the first time." Honestly, I thought it was a joke. But it turns out it wasn't. People were there attending an MLUC service for the first time that Sunday online. The following Sunday, Jessica ran a small, short visitor check-in Zoom group before the service. There they were. People are looking for community right now, and they're finding us online. A week ago, a mom and a son just dropped in on the Spanish conversation class virtually online, although they discovered it on our website. And although everyone was taken by surprise that morning, we are really doing our best to welcome newcomers into our community in these difficult times. Membership classes, of course, will continue online. Communication is essential to keeping our community together, and I'm very thankful to Mary Heil, who's been doing a superb job creating our weekly newsletters, and also to Tara Durante, who was Tara Ames until her marriage a week ago, for building the new website with me. We would never have been able to respond as effectively as we have without this new website. It was remarkably easy, for example, to add Reserve a Zoom right under Reserve a Room on our calendar menu. And it's not just formal support groups. SGM, meditations, etc., everything has moved online. On Friday, I dropped in on the men's breakfast group, which normally meets Friday mornings at the Cabrini College cafeteria, but here they are, enjoying breakfast in their own homes, but still chatting away with one another. Our church community is providing a lifeline to so many people in these isolating times. I could go on forever about facilities, sadly, but let me just say that Ron DiNunzio appears to be waging a one-man war on the coronavirus. The building has never been cleaner than it is right now. Social action work is a little bit harder to get started. UU Plan, which was going to hold its annual meeting in our building, decided to move their meeting online. And there's a lot of ongoing discussion about how to take social activism online, which will manifest itself in the next few weeks. We still serve when we can. We opened the building to IHN, but after getting started here, everyone decided it would be safer if they stayed in a single place for an extended period of time. And they're currently in Norristown, but supported by volunteers. The AA group that meets in our building Friday evenings is very grateful to be able to continue to do so. We still pay our annual dues to the UUA. Now, many UU churches are floundering right now. They're struggling without our considerable bench of talent in staff and volunteers. And our continuing contributions to the UUA make it possible for them to help those churches. I should add, however, that without the UUA's help, Tara and I would not have been able to make the new webpage last year. The templating work they did for us allowed us to concentrate on what was important and get that up quickly. We want to continue all of this. Now, up until 2 weeks ago, we had planned an aggressive campaign intended to grow our ministry in a variety of ways. We're not doing that this year. There's not going to be a party. There are not going to be in-home visits. Here's what we're going to do instead. Right now, I'm encouraging you to pledge online at the website. It's a single easy step from the main page. Here it is. Now we'll be sending this video around by email during the coming week for everyone who missed the service this week. And after a week or 10 days, we'll send printed pledge cards to anyone who's not pledged online. You can save us that envelope and stamp. There may be some reminders after that, but pretty much that's it. We'll be counting on you. Now, for everyone who has suffered a loss of income and is facing uncertainty, I would ask you to do what I ask every new member to do. Consider your situation, think about what the church means to you, and then pledge what you feel comfortable pledging. I can't tell you how much that is. If it's $10 a month, pledge $10 a month. If it's more, pledge more. If it's $1 a month, pledge that. Pledging a non-zero amount will definitely make you feel better than pledging zero. And I can promise you that every dollar pledged will be used to further our mission and take care of our community. However, I'm also asking you, if you're not going to pledge this year, please go to the website and pledge zero. You have no idea how helpful that is to us. It relieves us of so much uncertainty and of the need to keep writing to you to find out what you intend. Now, for everyone whose income has remained stable, like my own, I'm inviting you to think about sharing your good fortune by increasing your pledge, at least for this year. My wife Sally and I are not wealthy, but we consider ourselves to be very, very lucky that our finances have remained stable so far. And as a result, we're going to increase our pledge to the church by at least 20%. And if it turns out we're all really getting federal checks this year, we'll increase our pledge even more than that. We don't actually need those checks to get by. I'm hoping that many of you who can will also consider increasing your pledge as well, as we try to keep the church's finances stable for the duration of the pandemic and its aftermath. I know I said I don't know what's going to happen, but in every future I see, this church is still going to be pursuing its mission of changing lives, taking care of ourselves and each other, and the world around us.